In this video, I just want to share just some of the hardest things. Really, it's one main thing that I have found the most difficult in my awakening journey. Really, it's a reawakening journey, but that's another story. I've been on my journey for around 9 years. It all started after watching a near-death experience interview with a lady called Anita Morjani, and she shared what happened during her NDE, and the things that she came back with and shared, they had to believe, because she was in a coma. There's no way she could have heard, like conversations that were happening way down the corridor where she wasn't anywhere near. Even if somebody was awake and in the room, they wouldn't have heard it. Her body healed miraculously. Golf-sized tumours all over her vital organs shrunk by 70% in 5 days, and it was completely gone within 5 weeks. But the things within her story, there was something that hit me so deeply. And that was really started the ball of my reawakening journey. And at that point in my life, I was drinking a bottle of wine a night, sometimes more, chain smoking, literally outside, like 7 cigarettes, 10 cigarettes, all in one go. I was addicted to codeine. I was just literally walking through the day, tired, like just not present at all on any level. And fortunately, at the right time and synchronicity working as it beautifully does, I also came into contact with another book that I read, which was called Get Your Life Back by Chris Hill. And there was something in the book, literally a light switch just went off inside of me. I stopped drinking, smoking, taking the codeine. My body went off meat, fish, eggs, even coffee. But coffee, I was like, there's no way I'm giving this up. And my body even detoxed for probably, I think it's 4, 5, 6 months. And when I say detox, what my body went through was every night, my bed sheets were soaking wet, absolutely drenched. And it literally, my bones felt like I had the flu. But because of what happened with listening to this lady's story, Anita's story, and then reading this book, something shifted inside of me. And it always is on the awakening journey that something changes within, and then we will start to see it without. Now, this whole journey to get to the main part, what I have found the most difficult is actually sometimes I feel like, am I just crazy? Like the thoughts that I have when I think about how I used to think and how I believe and think now, it's two completely different people. So as an example, some of my wildest thoughts that I have are, because I believe that we are all energy. I mean, even I have a tattoo. I am love, I am light, I am one, I am all, I am nothing, and I am everything. And also, everything is energy. Because that has been my experience, especially after an ayahuasca ceremony and a mushroom meditation that I did. And so because of that, I actually feel we are all one. And so I genuinely feel that as the collective consciousness, when we are stressed, when we are in fight or flight, when there's so much fear going on, I genuinely feel it affects the weather. And that is probably one of my craziest thoughts out there. But I do feel that the weather is almost like the nervous system, like our nervous system is connected to it. Like we are all connected. We know simple things like the trees breathe out oxygen, and we breathe that in, and we breathe out carbon dioxide, and the trees breathe that in, and we know stuff. Anyway, I don't need to explain myself, but I'm just sharing. This is why, it's not why, it just resonates. And I've really learned that whatever resonates feels like that's what I need on my path. some of the other wild, crazy ideas that I have that I think contribute towards me thinking, oh my gosh, have I just completely lost it, is things like, so I believe, and I hate saying I believe actually, because I don't believe my children are mine. I know they're mine. I feel it. I know it. It's not a belief. And so when I say, oh, one of my beliefs, is what I mean is I actually have a deep knowing, because it resonates and it just feels right in my body. My body feels expansive. My body feels lighter. And I've come to trust what my internal world tells me more than my external world. But still, the mind, the ego, somebody said something perfectly, was something on the lines of, like, the ego doesn't want us to succeed, and the ego wants us to think like we're crazy or we're this or that, because it fears to be lost or to die to us. It's like ego death. And so I think that when I have these crazy thoughts, these are maybe why I'm doubting them, or maybe I'm just going crazy. You'll have to tell me. But yeah, so some of the other ones are things like, I believe that we can heal ourselves. And I think regardless of what it is, I don't believe, I know that medication has a place and I know that it does help people. However, I feel that if we go to the root of the problem, of which started within us, and we heal that, and so that even can be through meditation, that even can be through letting go of the old story of whatever's caused that, and that we've kept that in without letting it out. If we can go to that route, that will actually heal us. And then, because I believe we are all one and we are all connected, I feel that when somebody else is unwell, when somebody else is ill, I actually feel that we can help them just by seeing them well, just by seeing them whole. The same is how we can do for ourselves, because they are us, they are a reflection of us, they are we're all one, we are all connected. And so I think there's some of my craziest thoughts that I feel like, oh, am I going crazy? And then there's just other things as well, like more physical things. For example, how the school system is set, where kids are there 5 days a week, where they have homework, where they are basically just seen as lesser than, where they, you know, their creativity is not encouraged, their voice, their individuality, their uniqueness is not set for them to thrive. And for me, that feels messed up. I feel that, like, that we know that there are many different ways of learning, and we know that intelligence is not IQ is not the only intelligence, yet school predominantly teaches in one learning style, and also they only do the exams predominantly with IQ and not like emotional intelligence or bodily intelligence and things like that. And so there's so many children then that leave school thinking that they failed school, that there's something wrong with them. And because of that, I feel like school is so fucked up. Excuse my French. And I feel like, is it me? Like, all these people, like, my children go to school because they want to go to school, but the children that don't, and they have to, and the parents are stuck in this system. For me, I just feel like this is crazy. How are we going along with this system? How is it okay? Even the working system, where, you know, especially, I can only talk for the UK, but where the cost of living is so high. You know, and, you know, people are burnt out. They're stressed. Like, I've worked in mental health hospitals. I know exactly what it's like. People are burnt out. They are stressed. There's no time together as a family. There's no time together as, like, partners. There's no time for somebody by themselves to have quality time to fuel up. And they are also stuck in the system that school has set them up for. And for me, it's like, am I going crazy? Is it... like, surely, it, like, for me, it just seems obvious that this system is set up for people to not thrive, for people to fail, for, you know, poor families, that generational like poverty, for that to continue because of how the system's set up. And that makes me feel like, fuck, am I going crazy? Is it me? Like, most of the world thinks this way. And then there's just other things as well, like I find it, for the longest time, it's so weird for me. It's so weird that we are allowing the money of like the government and the banks to create weapons to use in war, that actually there still is war, that people are fighting. Like, I find it so bizarre. But because most people, like the majority, it seems the norm because everybody's doing it, it makes me feel like, oh my gosh, like, is it me, you know? And I know when I was doing mental health nursing, I just felt like this really small fish swimming up this really strong current, and I thought, I just can't help anybody in here. I'm just even part of this big pharma. Even, you know, that's another thing, big pharma, that are like, they're all about cure rather than preventative, when actually the lifestyle that, you know, we're giving children are putting every day in school, even in the hospitals, they've got vending machines, things like this. These are the things that have made me feel that am I going crazy while I've been on my awakening journey. And these are the things that I have to regularly like check in, like, actually you feel that. And I've got the contrast of how I felt in my body before and how I feel in my body now. And how I felt in my body before, actually, even though I was like healthy physically, like I didn't need to have help with the doctor, I still had all those addictions. My mental health to even be doing that was not in the good place. I definitely did not respect and love this vessel, this temple, as I do now. And having that contrast to how I feel now, that, I suppose that helps me, like, yeah, well, this actually feels healthy. Like I said, this feels, I feel expansive. I feel light. I feel love for everybody. And I mean everybody. I don't care what anybody has done. I love you because I see the injured child that still needs to heal. I see the soul so far off their path that all they need is love to come back. That's what I see. And so I definitely didn't have that before, but I feel that contrast in my body. And what I realized is this system that people are in, actually, we can just call it the matrix. That's what people are calling it, the matrix. When people are stuck in that matrix, like, their baseline is here. I mean, my baseline was here. It was awful. But there was no time. That time just didn't allow for that space to feel the contrast. And then I was able to feel that contrast. And it's kind of like, wow, I really don't want to be in that system. I just feel like that system is so damaging. And I'm not surprised that it can make so many people stressed and unwell. And I'm sorry if this video has been really rambly, and well done if you're still here. But, you know, my point is, what really I want people to know is that if you are on your awakening journey and actually maybe feeling like you're going crazy, maybe questioning your new beliefs and knowings and truth. I mean, it's good to question everything, even ourselves, but trust in what your vibes tell you and what your body tells you. And just know that really the life that we've had before awakening is really, you got to give hats off to it, because it's succeeding in what it's doing. That people are just so programmed in it that when they actually reprogram themselves, that they see that madness, that feels so mad. And because so many people are going with it, it makes them feel like they're the ones that are mad. And I suppose even another simple way is, you know, out of 179 or something countries, over 100 countries still think it's okay to hit children. And I suppose for me, when I remember that, it's like, oh yeah, just because the majority of people believe it and go along with it doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's coming from a place of love, doesn't mean it's the best thing for humanity and for us as a collective. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video here, but I just really wanted to share this because I know for many the awakening journey can be difficult, and some can find it lonely, and I have definitely become quite a bit of a hermit. I literally just see, my partner, a friend, and occasionally my family, who I love and I'm close to, and fortunately my sister's quite very awakened as well. But compared to my life before, when I was going out a lot, it can seem like lonely, and I personally get a lot of my connection through just watching other videos, watching other people that have gone through that, and knowing that actually it's so much better to feel this way than to feel how I did. So even if there is moments of feeling like, oh my God, am I actually going crazy? It's still better. It's still worth it to feel this crazy, this delusional, than the trap and the programming and the life that I was living before. Anyway, that's it. So much love and blessings. Bye.